What is a log
I'll
line?
divide this
Part
into
1.
Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3, right? In Part 1, we'll be talking about what is a log line. It will serve as an introduction. In Part 2, we'll talk about the importance of a log line and why is it the first thing, or is it supposed to be the first thing in your screenplay. In Part 3, we'll dive deep into forming stories and then creating log lines out of them. For now, we'll discuss what is a log line, but for now, let me first introduce myself. Hi, my name is Justice Chibase, but I go by the name J Excellence, and I'm a film scriptwriter based in Mzansi, South Africa. Okay, right. I've written everything on my phone, right? This will help me not to forget what I'm saying, so I'll be reading you what I'm saying, right? What is a log line? A log line is a 1 or 2 sentence summary that explains the core idea of your story. It reveals the main character, what they want to achieve, and the main problem or enemy they face. It's in its simplest form. It may also hint at where the story happens, the setting, but this is not quite really necessary, or what kind of a story it is, the tone of the story. It's what's important, so that the agent or the producer can know whether it's something that he wants to invest on, because some studio company that you might submit your CV, they need an action movie. So when you give them the log line, they get to know the tone of the movie. Should they invest on this? Is this what they want? The log line captures the heart of the story in just few words, right? I will use John Wick. Ufiki John Wick. Ngasembuye, John Wick. If you're not in South Africa, you won't know this song. Okay, it's about John Wick, but in South African Amapiano version. We'll talk about John Wick. I'll give you a brief summary of the whole movie, and then I will format it into a log line. But I'll be explaining the log line. The big summary, or a brief summary of John Wick. A legendary assassin, John Wick, retired from his violent career after marrying the love of his life. Her sudden death leaves John in deep mourning when sadistic mobster Lucifer and his thugs steal John Wick's prized car and kill the puppy that was left as a gift from his wife. John unleashed the remorseless killing machine within and seeks vengeance. Meanwhile, Lucifer's father, right, the protagonist, John's former colleague, puts a huge bounty on his head. Now that's the movie, or that's the summary of what the movie is about, right? Interesting. But the problem is that some agents, some producers, some directors, they don't want to read the whole junk because they have a lot of scripts that they need to go through. Let me say it's just a competition. They've opened a competition and they want action scripts or dramatic script or whatever genre, or they just need scripts. They have thousands, because you're not the only one who's submitting. So they have 1,000 of scripts that they need to go through. And here comes you with a very big junk trying to explain the movie. They might just skip your script. But there is a way to hook them. Even if maybe after 10 minutes they need to go to a meeting, there is a way where you can explain everything that I just explained in less than 10 seconds. And that is a log line. It even makes the laziest producers and agents, right, have to read your story, because they don't have to waste their time even to go through pages and pages and pages like a treatment, right? That's why it's very much important, and we'll discuss it in part 2, the importance of a log line, because it doesn't just explain the movie, it also gives the idea of the budget of your movie. So they get to know if maybe they are working on a budget of 1 million or 100,000. They get to know from a log line if they can squeeze that money and come up with the whole idea, movie. A log line gives them that as well. So it's a very important thing in your screenplay. Now, how do we form what I've just said? Let me just reread what I've said for the last time. Legendary assassin John Wick retires from his violent career after marrying the love of his life. Her sudden death leaves John in deep mourning when sadistic mobster Lucifer and his thugs steal John's prized car and kill the puppy that was a last gift from his wife. John unleashed the remorseless killing machine within and seeks vengeance. Meanwhile, Lucifer's father, John's former colleague, puts a huge bounty on John's head. Now here's the log line. John Wick is a former hitman grieving the loss of his true love. When his home is broken into robbed, and his dog is killed. He is forced to return to action to exact revenge. There you go. Simple as that. And then you have a log line. It's a challenging thing. Those are the things that I will explain in part 2. It's a challenging thing to come up with a log line, but it's very much important for you as a screenwriter if you're going to be submitting your script, so that lazy producers and agents have no any other reason to just pass your script, because trust me, they are lazy. So it's important for you to have that log line, that 2 or 1 summary of your whole idea, so that they can see whether they can invest on it or not. My name is Jack Zellens. Stay tuned for part 2.